that's where most of my frustration is coming from, I think, at the moment.
Okay. So if you could best describe like what would make this session successful for you, like at the end you feel like you have a better idea of this, or you have this understanding, or you have one thing to work on, like how would you define
Um,
that?
I think if I could come away with just a better understanding of mostly my role in the offlane, um, yeah, I think that would be best for me.
Okay. Sure, man. So just so we're on the same page, I usually go maybe 10, 15 minutes over for the first session with people because I have to spend that much time kind of figuring out your playstyle and stuff. So we've got about 30 to 45, or we've got 35 to 45 minutes from
Yeah.
here. Do you have a couple replays in mind? Do you have one specific game? Do you want me to watch like mostly the laning phase, or where would you like me to focus and spend that time? Give you your
Yeah.
answers.
So it's just one game at the moment.
Okay.
I just sent that through, but I found myself in most of my games, especially with this hero Dawn. I find that I do okay in the laning stage, versing my tier of opponents. But I just find myself once I've got like a lead, I kind of get confused on what to do next. Um, what objectives should I be looking at? Um, and also itemization as well. I think plays a big part.
I got you. Okay. Um. So I guess would you say in regards to itemization, because I see like a very specific build here. You know, it's Deso, BKB, Harpoon. Like you're very much intending to right click people with this build. If I were to tell you, in my opinion, that it's better to have your build be utility or items, would that be changing your playstyle too much, or is that something you're open to doing?
Yeah, no, I'm open. Yeah, you've got way more knowledge than me, so I want to be criticized as much as possible. Yeah, just to become better.
I got you. I guess like what I'm just clarifying is that the one thing I don't want to do is turn Dota into a game that you like. It's no longer you anymore. You know what I mean? So some people like
Yep.
really like being heavy on kills and stuff like that, and then maybe we would find a better hero for that or a better way to do it. But for me, like I would be pretty significantly changing the way you're playing this game, in terms of your vision,
Yep.
because I see you're up, you're 8-0-3 at 15 minutes. Um, and I can kind of theorize to you what to do with that. And it's going to be like a very different approach that I think's the most impactful. And it sounds like you're open for that. So does that sound good to you?
Yeah, yep,
Okay,
yep. So
cool,
whatever best suits my role, I'm happy to do.
awesome. Okay, I think I've got a good idea of what we're going to be talking about, but let's just see how you get off to this good start. See if there's any serious critique for your laning phase. My question is, why did you choose this facet? Because I think like if you're going damage, Dawn has some interesting facets. Like this one makes you do more damage by attacking
Yep.
faster when you hit. This one's in my experience the default because it gives you like lower cooldown on all your spells. So I'm just curious why you chose this one.
I Well, I only came back to playing Dota 3 months ago. I had about a 5-year break,
Okay.
and Dawnbreaker was totally new to me. Um, and I started off with that one because it sounded like it'd be easier to learn the hero on that. But now Dawnbreaker has actually become one of my favorite offlaners to play now. So,
Ah.
um, yeah, I'm really loving the hero.
Okay. My guide is a bit outdated on her, but have you seen it? It's outdated in the sense
Uh,
that it doesn't have facets, but it has everything else.
no, no,
Okay.
I haven't.
Let me just quickly find that for you. And I would just encourage you after this session, if you're really nerding out about Dawn, I do think it would help you.
Yeah, awesome.
So like I
Welcome
said,
back.
ignore the fact that there's no facets and stuff, and it is old BSJ, but um, Dawn's one of my favorite heroes too. So, definitely will be a nice supplement to get more out of your session after we talk about things today. Okay, so would you like what percentage approximately of this coaching would you want to be general offlane stuff compared to Dawnbreaker specific stuff?
If we could just mix it in, maybe 50-50.
50-50? Okay.
Where we, yeah.
Sounds good. I got you. Okay, cool. So in my experience with Dawnbreaker, the default facet is solar charged. It did get nerfed a bit, but it's just really nice because even with your low cooldown spells, it gives you like an extra 1 or 2 seconds off of them usually. And especially with your ultimate while you're farming, it'll usually take 5 to 10 seconds off the cooldown. So it just adds up a lot in my experience. And this one's nice for the move speed, but in my experience, Dawn gets kited regardless. Like, it doesn't fix the problem. So I don't want to... I'm just letting you know that's the default, and that's what I would recommend. But if you're... Like, I don't think it's such a broken facet that this is, like, a problem for you. So, and maybe the Trailblazer is, not experimented with properly by people. So that's more of a suggestion, but we'll get into more, like, hard fixes in a second here. Okay, so you go for hammer... Okay, you're defensive aggroing a lot. Nice. 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 Okay. Definitely not worth missing all those CS to get mana drain, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you're playing the lane pretty well. Yeah, you're going for objectives. You push the lane and then went for it. I think your biggest thing about taking fights, this is going to be my immediate feedback here.
Yep.
Is to be, I'm just going to put this in the notes. When considering a lane fight, like a lane skirmish, we want to always be aware of the lane creeps we are leaving behind. So that we know our sense of urgency to return to lane. This basically tells us our goal is to understand, like, how long we have to fuck around, basically. Because I consider CS our job and killing people fucking around. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Okay. So our goal is to understand how long we have to fuck around with enemy heroes. So, things that influence this, mainly, are how many creeps there are, especially on your side, or especially when it is lopsided, like it's pushing one way or the other, because that means that the creep wave will die very fast. You will either miss enemy CS if you have a bunch, right? If you have a bunch of creeps, or the lane will shove into your tower really fast, and you will miss creeps that way because the tower is killing them. So I typed that out really long, not a concentrated thought, but I just want to show you what I'm talking about now. You already got your kill, so let me pull it back here. So right now, I would want you to see that the lane's like pushing into you, right? Because there's double range, it's at your tower. There's like a new creep wave coming in as well. And this is just something I want you to be aware of while trusting your gut to go on these guys. Like, I don't want to change your decision making We're just drawing awareness because this is a good decision to do this. So then you go on them, you're killing the CM, you're going on this Medusa, but this whole time, you know that this is happening over here.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm drawing attention to that. So what's going to happen is you're going to kill this Dusa, or chase her as far as you think you can. You're like, okay, I can kill this guy. Fuck him up. You're going to kill him, and you're going to do, whoosh, like, beeline it back here as fast as you possibly can. And that was something that you knew because you were kind of aware of it this whole time. You're like, I'm missing creeps. It doesn't change the decision. It just changes what I do after. And I'm going to draw the connection here where, like, you stopping and getting mana drain shows me that that wasn't your priority. And then I'm going to show you real quick. You go over here. This is, like, another really good engagement. You're fucking around, right? Like, you're outside the lane, getting the Lotus. Like, fucking around as in you're not hitting creeps. But I would want you to see during this that this is what happened to the creeps. So their 3 creeps are your 3 creeps are going to do this, and their 3 creeps are going to do this. And right now you would just be done with this engagement, because what's going to happen is you don't miss this.
Yeah.
So that's my main issue is you're going into these engagements. It's great, but you're not returning to the lane. Like, I actually think your instinct in these engagements is really good. Like, to take the fight to the left over here, to go for the like to push the wave and go for the Lotus. But then we're missing maybe an extra 5 or 6 creeps because we're staying too long. So it's more of a focus on how long do you stay in these engagements. And that's something that's kind of decided before the engagement. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Now that you talk about that, it actually, I can think of a few other games that I've played and had those situations, especially in the offlane.
Yeah. I think you could easily have the exact same laning stage with almost all of the same decision making and just have like 6 more CS right now. Like, it would just look the exact same, except you return to lane a bit faster. Okay. So I think this is a pretty incredible raindrop lane. I would have almost certainly purchased one. Yeah, CM Medusa. It's just really nice. Dawn's like a sustained kill hero through and through. So, like, I just think, like, for me, raindrops are a mana-giving item that helps me fight them. Because it gives me, like, you know, effectively a burst of HP every time it procs. So, high consideration of raindrops in these type of lanes. Yeah, you're owning them, though. Honestly, maybe this facet's, like, insanely good in the lane. You're definitely chasing them down, so I don't even want to shut you. It might change your laning stage, and if you're good with it, I wouldn't change it, actually. Okay. So you're going to... Okay. 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 So. You got kills. This is a... This is a generally universal problem I see around 2 to 3k. It gets better. It's still there for 4ks, but it gets better. Is being way stronger than the opponent, especially after kills, and then not resetting. I see this a lot from mid lane as well as off lane. So what resetting in this case means, which you're already doing to some extent, is you killed Medusa, you killed CM, but when you do this, you used a lot of resources. So even though you're level 6 and Medusa's level 5.5, you have no resources. So we are now in a phase of, I just fucking ran 10 kilometers and I'm faster than this person naturally, but I need to take a fucking break. Otherwise, they're going to beat me because they're coming off fresh, right? So that's how I kind of compare this. So for me, this is the moment where I would want something along the lines of, you know, awareness. I always give people like one awareness thing. So awareness. I am stronger than the opponent, but don't have the resources to utilize it. Mana and HP specifically. So what that would mean is, course of action. Farm as much as you can before they come back, and get back to base, or get resources somehow, usually base. So what you would do here is Medusa's dead for 8 seconds. You have the time to push this wave. You right-click it forward. I would probably cast my wand after right-clicking this forward. I would clear this camp, and then I walk back to base. Like, that's what I mean by efficiently resetting. Like, that's what we want to do. So push, you're attacking. If you want to cast a spell to push the wave faster, that's fine. But you're back now. Yep. You're gonna use your wand. You're gonna kill this camp if you can. You're like trying to squeeze out every bit of efficiency as you can, and then you're gonna walk back to base, meeting your items. You could even argue it's worth wand TPing here if you think that there's a fight about to happen, but it doesn't really look like there is. So I would be fine to farm my way back to base. But the two choices are wand TPing or wand killing this camp and walking back, picking up my soul ring, picking up my phase boots, full health, full mana, ready to fucking go. Do you have any questions about that?
Yeah, so for the notes on my end,
yeah,
I've got just to take what you just said. So farm as much as I can before they get back, and I've got as a priority here, get fight ready as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is exactly the priority. And it's just, it's how much farm can you squeeze in there before?
Yeah.
And that's like there's a huge gradient here, because that kind of depends on if they respawn and you stay around too long, might you die? That's not really the case in this game. Or is there a fight you might miss? Which would be more likely on Dawnbreaker. Because you can be there, obviously. But then, so what I'm thinking is, can I die if I stay a bit too long to be greedy? Or can I not? Is there a fight I'm going to miss? So I would quickly scan the map for those two things, and then go base. According to that, how fast? Like, my sense of urgency goes up if I think I'm under kill threat, or there's a fight brewing. Otherwise, I'll take that extra camp, I'll use all my mana, walk back to base. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay. Because if I saw, like, Pudge being really aggressive here, you know, them diving your Slark or something, then I would want TP. Like, that's what I mean. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So it's this portion that is definitely going to hurt you a lot. You actually do heal yourself all the way back up. That was actually... How did you get healed all the way back up? Is this guy max mana drain? Did he max mana drain and come heal you?
I'm not too sure.
He gives you mana back. Yeah, interestingly enough, I don't hate the reset that happened here, but I still think it would have been faster if you did the camp and then went to base. I still would have liked that. But I don't hate the reset that happened. So you take a fight down here. You definitely could have potentially turned to that mid fight that happened between Storm and Huskar, but that's like kind of hard to... A lot of moving pieces right now. I think the main thing about you missing the fight that happened between Storm and Huskar, because Storm barely killed him, is that if you were thinking about these things, you would be more likely to learn from this experience. Do you know what I mean? You would have been like, maybe I should have gone home because, like, Storm Huskar is a bit of a volatile matchup and I want to make sure I'm ready. That's just an example. But overall, you did end up getting reset and it worked out, so... more so drawing attention to this now. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna TP. Oh, you were... I think with ulti, I would still have done what you did. It's surprising how much they're healing you, though. I think you're surprised by it.
Yeah, that's why I cancelled it.
yeah. The thing about Dawn... The number one question I have in one of my recent YouTube videos that was about Offlane is, who do we want to be point of contact to the enemy? Meaning who gets gone on and stuff like this. And how does my hero play into that. So what's been happening is you're constantly staying bottom, and you're the one that won your lane. So you're just getting ran at for the last, like, 4 minutes, right? And Dawn doesn't want to be the one getting ran at. Dawn wants her teammates getting ran at or running at them and ulting. So Dawn usually ends up being more of a TP home, farm these camps back towards base, defend the tower, farm these camps, and the whole time she's looking to play around her team. What Dawn does not want is the enemy running into her lane and fucking with her, and her teammates rotating to her. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what she wants. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to point out is by you staying in lane, it's making this more likely to keep happening. So by never having this, like, reset, by, like, farming your way back towards base and stuff, even though it is surprising how much mana they're giving you, by constantly occupying lane, you're kind of helping this situation that you don't want to happen.
I think I understand what you're trying to say is that you want me to be the reactive instead of being the one active as playing with Dawn.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You can look to force rotations if you feel really strong, but I would have wanted you to kind of understand in the last 4 minutes, like in the future, that, they keep showing up to my lane. I'm going to stop doing this. Like, you can start by being aggressive. Like, I'm not saying never be aggressive, but if you're getting this feeling that you keep end up being point of contact and you know Dawn doesn't want that, that you would swap it up in the middle of the game. That would be the long-term display of your understanding of this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just noting this down.
Cool. So some offlaners want to be the one getting gone on. Other offlaners do not, and Dawn is one of those that does not like this. We do not like this because you have 6 kills and 39 CS at 10 minutes. Like that, it's not that 6 kills and 39 CS is terrible, but like you're gonna win more games having 2 kills and 60 CS than 6 kills and 39 CS. Like that's just not generally how we like. You want the fights to be more selective and intentional, and right now it looks like you have a really good sense of how to play the lane, and then shit's like happening in the game and you're just kind of rolling with it. Oh, bunch of heroes showed up in my lane, I guess we're fighting. Like, oh, they came, let's keep going. And we're just trying to make you adjust to that, because, and how Dawn would like to adjust to that specifically is kind of removing yourself from the game, because I want you to know if you are consistently preoccupied, that's how your Huskar dies.
Yeah.
That's how I think of Dawn. If I'm strong, the enemy's not allowed to fucking make plays in the game. That's how I think of Dawn. As a hero. Does that like kind of line up if you think about your experience with her so far?
Yeah, I find Dawn, I don't know, like, obviously, in comparison, let's just say, like, with the Centaur,
Yeah.
you know, you just want people to run at you or you initiate. I'm finding it hard to find Dawnbreaker's role in Dota. And I think that's where I'm having issues with it. Just really identifying and the best way to go about it. Like, I know every game's different, but just like a generalization on a yeah.
I got you. Dawn is a wonky hero, for sure.
Yeah.
She is a wonky hero. I love Dawn, but let me think about how to best describe this. What makes Dawn conceptually broken, and I think it's in the guide, but obviously I'm not going to just expect you to watch that only, is her ability to... She's a Spectre that farms really fast. She can be at any fight she wants. She has insane counter initiation potential. She also has insane follow-up initiation potential. So, like, if your Lion was smoked up finding Storm, you know, you would ult on top of him. So Dawn's job is to farm the map insanely fast with Hammer while always being ready to fight.
Yeah.
So what Dawn does not want is to be constantly fighting heroes. That is not what she wants. Her role is not to do that. And the only way that she can do that is through items. Like, the only way that she can constantly fight heroes and be useful is because her items are useful to the fights. So, when I look at your lineup, what I think is that the opponent has really beefy cores with the Pudge and the Medusa, and they have a lot of magic damage, and I want my items to allow me to farm the map survivably, and when I pop in, I give my team a lot of impact. Like, that's how I'm thinking. So in this game, I would probably have gone Pipe into Lotus. That's what I would have gone here. Because Pipe is so good for me against Storm, CM, Ogre, even Pudge. Like, all of their kill heroes, their only right clicker is Dusa, and she'll fall off, or like she won't be right clicking until later. And then I'm probably going Pipe, Lotus into Crimson. And the Lotus is because it gets rid of CM Root, it gets rid of Ogre W, it reflects Pudge ulti, it reflects Storm Pull. It's just a really good Lotus game, and I like to buy items that protect teammates when my teammates are really aggressive heroes. So you have Lion, Slark, Huskar. These are all very aggressive heroes. So I would be looking to protect them with my items. If I have heroes that are Death Prophet mid and, Medusa safe lane, I'm much more likely to go Deso Harpoon and try to kill people, because these are very defensive cores. Do you see the difference there?
Yeah, I love that you pointed that out. It's like, especially when you said Pipe and Lotus in Crimson, like I never even thought of those items, because I remember this game specifically and I'm like, I'm gonna have issues later on in the game, but the reason why I went all damage is because I thought if I could just keep killing them, they wouldn't get ahead, but they
Yeah.
ended up getting ahead. But yeah, that's such an eye opener.
Nice. I'm glad to hear it.
I can see, yeah, I can see how it works now because you explained the heroes. I think what I got to do is really think about these heroes in a team fight and where their damage is coming from.
Yeah, because like in this game, this is me telling you from thousands upon thousands of Dota games, is I would go Pipe early because that's all of their damage. I would go Lotus because that prevents their kill threat later. And then I would go Crimson because that deals with Dusa later.
Yeah. I was like Dusa in this rank. It does get picked a bit, and I've always had issues with Dusa, and everyone always goes like, what's that mana draining item? I forget what it's
Diffusal?
called. That's it. Everyone opts straight for Diffusal, but no one thinks defensively as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's the role of the offlane amongst all of the cores, in my opinion, is your third in priority of what your role in the game is. But you're not third in priority of getting farm.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm an offlaner, I just look at my other two cores, generally speaking, how much utility do they offer compared to how much aggression do they offer? And then I'm going to basically be the inverse of that. So if they're like slightly utility heavy, I'll go a little bit utility, but a little bit more aggression. If they're very aggression heavy, I will go the complete opposite and go really utility. Like, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And the bonus of Pipe and Lotus specifically is that it also makes you really survivable. So it's like hard to kill you while you're farming. And since Dawn is a hero that just kind of farms with a spell, like she doesn't need items, as long as she has mana, she will farm fast, right? So you don't need, as long as you have mana, you don't need anything else in order to farm. So that's really nice for Dawn.
Yeah.
Any questions about all that?
I do have one.
Yeah.
Should I ever consider Greaves?
I
on
honestly
Dawn.
think Greaves are really popular this patch, and I did think about it, but I didn't feel confident to suggest it because I know Phase are really strong for her, and I don't know if your laning stage would have gone the same. But I also
Yeah.
don't even hate the idea of going mech back into Mana Boots Greaves right now. Like, I don't even hate that. With your current items. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even mind that. For me, Greaves are like, yeah, they're a boot, but they're not really a boot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't think of it as like, what does this boot do for me? It's just something that happens to build out of boots. Same with drums of endurance or sorry, boots of bearing. I don't really consider those boots in regards to like double boots. So like I wouldn't hate for you to go mech back into Mana Boots Greaves and then pipe. I wouldn't hate that either. But you can also, if you think your laning stage is not super aggressive, you could go Mana Boots mech instead of, maybe Bracer Mana Boots mech, and you would skip the Soul Ring. That's an option as well.
Yeah, because I've always had issues with Dawnbreaker and mana.
Like... Yeah, that's her issue. She has a lot of mana. Yeah, or like mana issues. Yeah. But so maybe in lanes where you feel like you can be less aggressive, Mana Boots would be better. But in this lane, you were able to be very aggressive, and I think you would have hampered your aggression potential by going Mana Boots over Phase.
Yeah.
So just something to think about. Any questions there?
No questions. I see Dawnbreaker now a totally different hero than what I did before.
Nice. And the nice thing is you've already got a good feel clearly for the laning phase. So now you can just apply the concepts on top of that, and it should feel a lot smoother for you. And yeah, the utility thing, it applies to all offlaners. But the biggest thing is that some offlaners just cannot build damage, and some offlaners just cannot build utility. And my point is that you kind of have to be aware of the spectrum of utility to damage that this hero can get away with and still be the hero. Like, there's like some range in there that's reasonable. I'd say Dawn is pretty flexible. I think nowadays she leans more on the side of utility than damage. I think in the past she used to be more heavily built around damage. Like, there was a patch, maybe, like you said, I think you said you stopped playing 2 years ago or so. People were going Echo Saber in like Deso and stuff like this. But Dawn, for a while, was building Ags because it was really broken, but then it's been nerfed. But the Ags was very utility heavy, so people were going like Ags, Shivas, just being a utility that way. But I do think if I were to play Dawn this patch, it would be all auras or utility, and it would just kind of depend on the game, like which ones I go and what order I go them. With the idea that the nice thing about all these auras is giving Dawn durability and mana makes her really farm faster too, because she already farms fast. She just needs to not get caught up in all these fights over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I view Dawn right now. I haven't played her this patch specifically, but that's like how I would view her. Any other questions about this?
No further questions.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I want you to think that if you're walking into a 4v4 with your team, you're not playing Dawn correctly. So by you showing yourself and being around your team, like if your team's coming to you a bunch, that's fine, just leave.
Yeah.
As long as you have ulti, just leave. There's absolutely no reason for you to be around them. That's the entire point of the hero. And the fact is, in pubs, especially the lower MMR you go, it's like the same as like me being a Spectre and my team ganking my lane for me. It's kind of like, hey guys, fuck off. Like, I'm Spectre, I can ult in, just go somewhere else. It's like,
oh yeah, that analogy makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And the thing is, people are playing their heroes where they're like, oh, my offlaner's 7-0 and I'm lying and I want to kill somebody. Like, that's as far as they're thinking. And it's not their job. Like, you can't expect the people, I'm not saying you are, but you can't expect your teammates to understand what your hero needs. So when they're going against what your hero needs, you just need to fix it. Right? Like, oh, all my teammates are showing up. I got to leave now. And I would just TP away, or I'd walk back to these camps and I'd be like, I have ulti, I'm ready to fight, or whatever. Like, I would just communicate that, like, so they don't think you're walking away out of like anger or something. You know, you're just like, I'm gonna go farm jungle, I have ult. You know? That's how I would handle these situations. It's our job. Like, what makes people gain MMR is their resilience to random shit and their ability to adjust to situations. So right now we're drawing a lot of attention in this coaching session to what Dawn wants in the game, what the ideal map looks like, where she's kind of farming backwards and she's hammering out waves from a distance and she's connecting to fights elsewhere. She doesn't want to be near the fights to start. So as long as you're starting to view the map that way, you'll start thinking, where are the fights happening? What are my teammates doing? Where does that mean I want to be? And it's something that'll take time, of course, but like, you will get better at it as long as you know what you're going for. And I think it sounds like you have a much better idea after this of what you're going for, I think.
Yeah, certainly. Now I've been taking all the notes down, so
Sweet.
I'm gonna go through them all and come out better.
Nice. Very nice. So let's just see what you do here. So my one question is how often would you say, as like an offlaner for Dire, you leave this area, and as an offlaner for Radiant, you leave this area? Like, how often do you find yourself as like Dire offlaner, like farming up here, or like farming over here, or like here, or mid, or whatever? How often do you do that, would you say?
Rarely. I get so committed to my lane. Yeah, usually like the only time I will probably leave is after I've taken a tower.
Okay. Yeah, that's
like
really
mostly. Yeah.
Okay. So real quick, you might have already seen it since it's a recent video, but I'll link it. And then I'm also going to talk to you about it. Let me just find it for you. So this is specifically a video talking about this in regards to carry players, but I did try to say in the video it applies to all roles. So this video talks about staying in your lane for too long. So the reason I link you that video is because basically what I said in there is, if there's one takeaway for everyone playing Dota, is past 5 minutes, there's no such thing as your lane. For no reason. Doesn't fucking matter about the tower. Doesn't fucking matter about how your lane went. Nothing fucking matters. The entire map is open to you. Just, we want to see that now. We have so many choices. And that's the main emphasis. Is that right now, I kind of assumed you're operating under my choices are down here. But you have literally the entire map past 5 minutes. And I guess I'd ask if you have questions or thoughts about that.
Yeah, I'm still taking that in because I'm really trying to think about it. Like, well, the note I've put down for it is 5 minutes, check other lanes, reset. Pretty much reset my thinking.
Yeah.
That it's not my lane. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, a decent portion of games, you're going to stay in your lane. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah,
the emphasis of that video is, as a carry player, I stay in my lane to be efficient. That's what they all tell me. And then I'm presenting them with 3 scenarios that these aren't efficient for you. And you're still going there anyway. Like, you're operating under the assumption that this is supposed to be where you are. So as Dawn, maybe there's a smaller percentage of games where you're getting ran at by 3-4 enemy heroes constantly. But in those games, you don't want to be in your lane anymore. Like, past 6 minutes or so. You don't want to be here anymore. And we just want to, and we want you to see that it's not as much about it being your lane as it is, this is how Dawnbreaker interacts with people on the map. This is the type of, like, formation she wants and how she contributes. Based on what's happening in the game past 5 minutes, I'm going to adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I think I understand it now. I think you're trying to point out that I have to assess and realize when staying in my lane has diminishing returns.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing is like sometimes it just I've had to tell people that you're limiting your options. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of reasons why we've kind of learned that way. So the most important feedback I can give you guys, because there's so much you can do with this. Like now if I tell you the entire map is open, your choices went from like 2 or 3 options to like 12. So, you know, I don't want, like, I'm not saying you're trying to do this, but I don't want to spend too much time thinking about all the other options for you. It's just, you know what's going to feel right after this session because you've played a lot of Dawn. You're going to ask yourself, you're going to know how that lines up with, I don't want to be at the start of fights and stuff like that. And then you're just going to try different shit. You're just going to be like, maybe I go to safe lane. Maybe I go to mid lane and take a wave. Maybe I start farming ancients. Like, whatever the fuck. You know, there's just so many options. And you're not going to know exactly which one's correct, but that's fine. And over time, it'll get refined. And we just have to open your horizons. That's basically what that video was trying to say is, guys, there's the whole map is your oyster. Just go for it. Any questions?
Yeah. No, I've gotten something really good out of that, so
yeah, so we're near, we've got like a few minutes left here. Is there anything missing? Would you like me to watch a specific portion of the game?
I think when it starts to turn, when they start to take over, I'm pretty sure it's a little bit ahead of this. I think it's about from the 20, roughly around the 20. It's when I practically get lost. So like I've left the lane, and then obviously they, you know, I feel like I've done well with killing them, but ultimately they end up winning the game. And these types of games are what frustrate me the most.
So the biggest thing about this situation is when you see a fight brewing like this, you see what I mean by brewing?
Yeah, I know what you mean now.
Okay. So right now, your job as Dawn is to defensively push a wave with hammer. Whenever you see this. So you have to walk over here and nuke this wave with hammer. You have to. It is absolutely essential that you do not do this, and you stay here, kill this wave with your hammer, and if the fight continues to brew, you're hitting this tower. If it doesn't, then you're just backing off with your hammer, and maybe one of them TPs out, and suddenly you're forcing a 5v4. But you walking back here is completely defeating the purpose of your hero, which is that you can be anywhere on the map that you want, and you can be at the fight at the same time. Does this make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So yeah, right here, you'd be like right here hammering this wave. You'd see your you wouldn't be hitting yet, though. Then you see this, and you're like, okay, I'm going to start hitting. And then you're watching while you're hitting. Like, you're literally hitting the tower watching this. Tower's dying bottom. You don't feel rushed to show up at all because you're killing a tower. You're just still watching. You're, like, doing this while you're killing the tower. I wouldn't even go in yet. Like, because the... for me, the Huskar was in, but he wasn't near heroes that can kill him. Storm and CM don't kill Huskar. So I wouldn't have gone in yet. This tower is dead down here. I would just be waiting for this, and I'd probably go in now. Would be the time that I went in.
Yeah.
The big emphasis is you did the exact same contribution to the fight, and their bottom tower is dead right now. And now you see your teammates fighting mid. You know you don't have resources. You don't have ulti. Instead of walking towards the fight, you're walking away from it, and you're clearing away with hammer. Fight to be on the map. Fight to be away from your team. Even though you don't have ulti, you're just a useless hero without it anyways. So we just walk away from our team at all times on this hero. It's like a very straightforward, do not walk towards your team with this hero. So the way you play the map is, where's my team? Where's the fight happening? Walk the opposite way. This hero is very straightforward in that specific regard of Dota 2.
Yeah.
So like mid game, how often am I running towards my team or retreating on the map when there is a fight brewing? Because that means you should be advancing to hammer a wave. The beauty of Dawn is that she can clear a creep wave from like 1400 range. Like that's an amazingly powerful attribute of any hero in Dota. So we would never want to be walking here. We'd want to be up here killing this. We would want our items to say, you can't kill me with less than 3 heroes while I'm over here by myself. That's what your items would say. And that's what makes you impactful in the game. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So the problem with your mentality about the killing people thing is you don't win games by killing people. You win games by farming and controlling more farm on the map. That's how you win games. So the way that a lot of offlaners do that is by being really hard to kill by themselves on the map. And Dawn, it makes her even stronger because she can do that whenever she fucking wants. Kind of similar to Underlord, where they can just be by themselves, and as long as they're not dying, they're clearing waves with like a nuke, and then they're ulting into fights. So that's your utility in the game. So I would never want you to be at this fight in the first place. Just farming. You would have walked top, cleared the wave. You would have TP'd back to base right as your ulti was coming off cooldown. You know, the only time you would take the other facet is if you noticed consistently that your ult was like 10 seconds late. Like, meaning your ult cooldown. Yep. And you'd be like, ah, shit, it's actually really important that this ult goes down by 10 seconds. Because that's what the other facet does. And that's something you can play with over time. I'm not sure if that's going to be impactful in your games or not. But in this situation, you'll just notice you've ran at every fight. Like, every ult has been from, like, really close by. Except for the one that you were at Ancients, which we wanted you hitting here. Every ulti's been kind of like this one. Where you're, like, here already. And that's not what we want you to be doing. Does all that make sense?
Yeah, I've noted here that I should be making more pressure, you know, away from my team, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be getting objectives and also being tanky enough where I have to draw that many resources, like including other heroes. You know, if I'm, you know, farming out pretty deep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a really good game for Dawn because none of them solo kill you. Like if you're against like Ursas and stuff, it gets pretty annoying to play Dawn because there's like no items you can really buy on the map other than like Yules. But on against these types of lineups, you could theoretically be by yourself so much because they lack a lot of catch. And as long as you have like, if you had Greaves Pipe, this lineup is gonna have a really hard time killing you by yourself. And the only threat then is they kill your teammates before you're helping them. But if you're farming the map and creating that space, it'll make it better for your teammates anyways. So,
would you say that my itemization in this game impacted me more to lose than my positioning, like my movements in the map?
that's, for me, that's a tough question to answer. I think both are hurting you a lot.
Okay, yeah.
I think both of them are hurting you a lot. I think every second you're spending near your team is inefficient. And every item that's not going towards playing the map by yourself is hurting you. So both of them kind of go hand in hand. Like your items, you're playing the way your items say you're going to play, which is consistently fighting, trying to offer damage. And I'd want your items to say, I'm going to be as strong as I can by myself, but when I show up to this fight, my items have insane team fight presence. That's like, which Greaves, Pipe, Crimson, you know, this Shiva's, these type of items have AC. They all have like really high team fight presence, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. No, that's amazing. Because yeah, now I'm looking. I'm just looking at the next game I'm going to play so differently. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna build items to what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is awesome.
Awesome, man.
See, this is the thing. I was racking my brain about this game. It actually bothered me a lot, and it's awesome just getting obviously your set of eyes on it and going through it. Yeah, this is quite amazing.
Sweet, man. Love to hear it. Any final questions? I feel like we're
No,
pretty
no.
good. Sounds like you're empowered to do what we talked about at the beginning of the session, which is to have a clearer vision of the game.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I liked you repeating back to me your own words, what you interpreted, and I agreed with everything you said. So awesome, man. And I'll let you go there.
Yeah, sweet. Oh, when do you suggest I should book another one? Should it be a month or
So I'm gonna be gone
2
until
weeks?
March anyways, to be honest. So it's
Yep.
not too much of a choice after this session. But generally I recommend at least 2 weeks, but I think a month is good.
Okay, too easy.
Awesome. Sweet, man.
No worries. Thanks so much for that, and I appreciate your time. Yeah, I've got so many notes down, and I'm just going to go through them all and try and drum it into my brain. So,
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Have a good one, man.
too easy. Talk again soon. Thank you. Bye.